Stop trying to please people who have never concerned themselves with whether or not you are pleased. At its core, people-pleasing is just another nefarious form of manipulation, like gaslighting and breadcrumbing. You are trying to control the way people feel about you by doing and saying things you otherwise wouldn't have. Then you have the nerve to feel entitled to their approval. That is no different than those people who will forcibly wash your windshield in heavy traffic or force you to take a picture with them in Times Square just to turn around and demand that you pay for a service that you never wanted or asked for. I know it's hard for people pleasers to hear, but not everyone is going to like you, and that's okay. You've convinced yourself you have to garner approval everywhere you go. But there's no way to be an authentic person that is also liked by everyone. You can't be upset that you didn't get the outcome you were looking for, because who forced you to seek out that outcome in the first place? You lack self-esteem, and you need to take responsibility for that. The betrayal you feel when you try and fail to win people over isn't their betrayal, it's your own. They are not obligated to you. Everybody likes a free trial, but no one likes it when their car is charged unexpectedly without consent. You are trying to maintain an illusion of control. You think if you do enough, if you're nice enough, if you're generous and accommodating enough, people are gonna feel the way you want them to feel about you. That's not kindness. That is coercion with a smile. Relying on external validation isn't just unsustainable, it makes you a burden and generally unpleasant to be around. Emotionally, you're like a baby who constantly needs to be comforted. And the tragic irony is, the more you try to avoid rejection in this way, the more rejection you will face as a result. The only people who want to be around people pleasers are those who want the benefit of a genuine connection without any of the commitment. That makes you an easy target for users, abusers, and other manipulators. Make no mistake, it is manipulation, a hidden transaction in which no one knows the terms except for you. When you give with expectations, that's not generosity, that is an investment, and you are taking up stock in the form of guilt. How can anyone trust you when everything you do and say is contingent on them having the right reaction? It's just like those men that will take back a compliment they just gave you just because you said you're not interested. Don't reduce yourself to that level of desperation. You want everyone to think that you're this nice, sweet, agreeable person when you're really exploiting people who are actually kind and empathetic. Talking about, after all I've done for you. That is a low down, dirty trick, and you should be in jail. I know I'm being harsh, but I'm speaking as someone who is still recovering from years of approval-seeking, codependent, spineless, insecure people-pleasing. So I can tell you from experience that the reason you are so hurt by the outcome is because you do not believe that you are someone of value. So instead of letting someone get to know you while you in turn get to know them, and then kind of deciding if you like each other, when you want someone to like you, you just start being overly accommodating. And when you sense that they're not really moved, you just start doing more. When you realize they really don't appreciate it, then you try guilt. And when that doesn't work, if you're anything like me, as recently as 2 years ago, you will humiliate yourself trying to beg and barter and reason and convince. You will crash out to a lackluster response because they simply don't care. Not even a little bit. The only thing that is really hurting you is the lengths you will go to demean yourself for someone you should have never even given time of day. People pleasing isn't kindness, it's a performance, a manipulation disguised as generosity. We chase approval believing we can control how others feel, but we just end up being trapped in a cycle of rejection. And the more we try to avoid it, the more we attract it. And we become easy targets for those who exploit our need for validation. You're trying to cash in on guilt while actively eroding your own self-esteem. And you're trading your authenticity for fleeting moments of approval and paying a devastating price for it. So not everyone is gonna like you. It was never your job to manage their emotions. That's on them. Your job is to recognize that you were born valuable. You don't need to add perks and benefits to be worthwhile. And you certainly shouldn't have to convince anyone of that fact. I'm really trying to get over myself and post, even though I know my videos aren't perfect right now, but I feel like I can only really improve if I'm getting feedback from people who are enjoying my content. So if you like what I'm doing and you want to give me some pointers, I would really appreciate it. And until next time, no matter what, always remember to be persistent in your pursuit of peace, light, and prosperity. Bye.